Let's talk about fighting the devil and how it's actually not biblically sound. It's not correct. It's not the truth. We are not called to fight the devil. I was like, God, okay, we don't fight the devil, then why do we have armor? How come people keep talking about building one brick in one hand and a sword in the other? And so I went to go read Nehemiah. And I found out that it was a distinction between the people who are builders and the people who are carriers. Nehemiah instructed some people to guard families and to guard the city, I believe. I'll put it up somewhere. And then there were builders they were building and they had the sword at their side. They didn't have it in their hand. They had it at their side. And then other people who were carriers of supplies, they had the sword in their hand. And I believe this is angelic activity. I believe this represents angels being carriers of God's words and spiritual warfare between angelic forces and stuff like that. But I'm still tarrying and waiting on God to give me more revelation on that part. What God was telling me is that we don't fight the devil, but we do fight a fight, and that fight is the fight of faith. So if we go to 1 Timothy 6:12, it says, "Fight the good fight of faith. Take hold of the eternal life to which you were called when you made your good confession in the presence of many witnesses." Today is the battle is in our mind, and we are fighting to hold on. You know how you go to like a basketball game, but the away team is there, and you know how when they're about to score and when they're playing the game, how the crowd, it boos, heckles, stump their feet. It's all a distraction. It's just tactics, but we're not fighting that. We're just resisting the urge to like fix our gaze off of what we're supposed to be focused on, which is Christ and his kingdom. If you have a kid and they throw temper tantrums, right, when they're trying to test you and tempt you, what they're really trying to do is get you to stoop down to their level and be insecure in your authority. This is what narcissists do too. Narcissists, they try to make up stuff, make up lies, get your attention. And what you gotta do, you have to stonewall, you have to resist. Ask God. I said, God, what about this armor? The armor is not for fighting. It says clearly the armor is for standing firm. To 13 says, put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. Therefore, put on the full armor of God so that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground. See, the armor, when you see people with armor on, first of all, armor identifies. Secondly, armor is for protection. Word is not about offense. It's about defense. Because you're standing in something that's already yours. Ain't no way you're going into a fight not focused on an opponent if you plan to win. And that's the thing. You have to focus on the opponent. That's why we don't fight the devil, because it requires our focus. We fight the fight of faith because that's where our focus is.